right into the operator bans. It's tough to call sometimes what these bans might be. Scarz, since they haven't played it in so long, it'll be the Lion. For those who don't know, Chiefs have played Lion almost every single round. Jigsaw has played that operator in 29 of his 32 attacking rounds, so that is a very targeted ban. Will they move on to the Ying? That's what I was expecting from Chiefs. It's what they banned yesterday. I do believe that we could see some Valkyrie, we could see some Azami. I'd be surprised to see anything else coming out from Chiefs. I kind of think those would be the two bans. Valk off the board first, and then I would expect the Azami second coming out from Scarz, but again, without a huge sample size, could be like a Kaid or something to come through. I really like the Lion ban. You know, that shows that Scarz have been doing their homework. They've looked at the statistics. The pick rate of Lion from Jigsaw has been talked about by a lot of talent. They say he's unlocked now. We'll see. We'll see if he was just hiding with that pick. It's gonna be the Fenrir ban instead. Fenrir is still a very strong operator as well. So, most predictable ban. I'm excited.
Yes, as am I. It's our first time getting a look at Chiefs. We tended to stick to the same teams.
Yep.
While we were casting in the play-ins, and now we are in the play-offs, into off. Very simple stuff. As you can see on your screen, that's the Chiefs, who most people in Australia seem to think there would be one team and one team alone that would make it. Alas, they did not. But one of their former players did. Oda, who was bumped off of that Bliss roster, now playing for Chiefs, a long-standing Australian organization. At one point, Chiefs were sponsored by L'Oreal. I don't know if they still are, by the way. I thought that was quite out of all the esports activations and sponsorships, that one to me was one of the most intriguing. It was like, oh, L'Oreal getting into the esports scene. Okay, now I've seen everything. But either way, we go to battle on Chalet. Up next, of course, Sonics and Virtus Pro here on this channel. A-Stream rolling live right now. Stokes and Lynx are casting over in that direction. DZ versus Falcons starting their day off. Falcons looking like a mighty good team, as we pointed out. How can Chiefs do now up against a team that they should at least have some more information on, as they're well-equipped to deal with these APAC squads?
You would assume so. Fun fact, though.
I would actually assume that. Am I wrong?
You are, because Scarz, despite being around for quite a long time, have never in their history played against an Australian team. Ever. Because they joined the competitive Tier 1 scene after we kind of left the whole APAC LAN thing, right? They didn't actually start playing Professional Siege until we got to, like, Japan being its own region. So all of a sudden, this is a bit of a new territory for Scarz going up against the Australian. I will say, way back in the day, when they had a Korean roster, they had played against Australians, but obviously all different players. And we got an opening pick already. Washoe taking down Jigsaw to start us off. That was an Amaru play that tried to get right into the action, but just couldn't quite find anything. That's an early death. Quiz is trying to find some sneaky play as well down there on the main floor.
We say something about Jigsaw being unlocked. Now that there's no Lion on the board. Jigsaw no longer on the board at all either. So an early pick from Scarz. Really well suited. Nomad, an operator that you and I have discussed alongside Gridlock, as to why that anti-flank operator is brought over another. And Nomad preferred by Oda here. This is also a map where Claymores gain a lot of value. You're going to see quite a bit of runouts from these players, or typically you can. Not necessarily going to skip, but it is quite common. In that instance, I think a Nomad can be slightly more effective because the track stingers are not going to cover those jump outs. The track stingers are more likely going to be used to cover retreats over towards stairs. One spotted now upstairs inside a bedroom. And there goes a death mark to facilitate a pick for the Chiefs. Does not come out just yet. Now it's Rek firing away towards Solarium. He's going to lose some of his coverage as the ex-Kairos tear away at the Mira, but he still wins the duel against Tex.
Great shot by Rek. Once upon a time considered one of the best players, if not the best player in APAC. A couple of years back in Copenhagen, I remember his major, he went absolutely nuclear. Hunting for the snook down below. Lots of damage and a kill. Taiyu finds Quiz down on the main floor through the floorboards. Now it's just two players in Solar. One that goes down. That's Cairo. Just Oda in a 1v5.
Oda right now on Solarium window. Picked apart by Fish-like. Wasn't just a flawless round for a long period of time there, Jesse. It was an invincible round. A perfect round. Scarz hadn't taken any damage until Oda started to swing on that window. So a terrific start for the Japanese team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they took a lot of time to take that main floor control. They wanted to be able to work that bomb site vertically, But despite getting bottom floor pretty much for free, they weren't able to get anything done with it. They did some demos tracks, but they were only catching players that were on hard floors. Then they lost a player through the floorboards themselves. So that vertical play really didn't go the way of Chiefs. Surprised we didn't see like a buck or something being brought out in that execute. Felt like it maybe could have added a little bit more, but not what they decided to bring. Didn't work out. Maybe not a surprise as well that Scarz start off strong on the defense. In Stage 2, they had a 77% defensive win rate, the highest in the world, except for Falcons, who obviously play in meta, where they only have 7 BO1s, so Falcons have a smaller sample size. They have quite good statistics because of that. But still, Scarz putting up some ridiculous defensive numbers in Stage 2 in the Japan League. They'll be facing some tougher competition now. I'd be surprised if that stat does hold, but you never know with these APAC teams. It was only about a year and a half ago when Scarz made their miracle run. They got top 8 at the Copenhagen Major. Went up against FaZe Clan in the quarterfinals. First time that APAC had made it to the main stage in quite some time. And I don't believe they've been back since. So Scarz looking to repeat that performance and hopefully go a little farther too.
Honestly, after Norengo left the scene, Japan across the board has had very pronounced struggles, making it to deeper runs. I mean, their compatriots of CAG Osaka were active earlier on. Cyclops Athlete Gaming, as most people will remember, before the rebrand and the addition of Osaka to the name. A team that typically finishes somewhere around 12th. They obviously had a worse go of it this time, finishing in the 16th to 20th category. They've already been eliminated. The Hands of Black Dragons, if memory serves correctly.
Yes.
So only one Japanese team remaining. After the strengths of Fnatic and Norengo, and then Fnatic moving to Japan themselves, the dominant team in APAC has typically come from Korea, and that's been D+ Kia, who's shown the most success of all of those Japanese and Korean teams over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. This has been a full top floor clear, and they're trying to push these players back. They've gotten a good amount of map control on the side of Chiefs at the moment, but look at this. The Kiva barriers, the castle barricades as well, making it so difficult for them to find these opening frags, keeping everyone safe. They see ahead of Nina for just a moment. He had jumped out the building a minute or so ago. It didn't seem to result in anything, though. Now, of course, safe and sound playing on side of Mezzanine with those Kiva barriers. They're playing very safe, Parker. As I say that, Quiz the opening pick on a fish like down in the basement, finds one of those far-off players, and Cairo will go down right next.
Natona still searching for the pick on Nina. Damage being done across the board to the Scarz players. Washoy down for the count, but Scarz leveling it right back. Nina dropped. The only player still upright for Scarz is Rek, who spots Oda on the stairs, dropping him. Quiz with 26 HP, Rek with 37 HP. It's a battle of the wounded. Nina bleeding out, and what a shot from Quiz. You barely even saw it, but for a second there, through the soft wall. The Chiefs will equalize, but still around for Scarz. That could have gone their way. Quite competitive. A lot of that really came down to the roam clear upstairs. The ability for Chiefs to get that opening pick and then seize control of Library, pushing Scarz out of that position, and never really taking the bomb site itself, but clearing out the avenues around it. It's a winning recipe. 1-1 through 2 rounds.
It was looking a bit shaky there for sure. I felt like with Rek getting all of those kills, you can see 5-1 at the moment. It was going to be nights out for Chiefs, but no. Instead, they battle back. Good final couple of kills there coming in from Quiz, 22-year-old from Brisbane, Australia. Been doing some absolute work for Chiefs, of course. Had a pretty solid first phase. He put up about 46 and 50 KDR, so not positive just yet, but still the second highest ratio of the team. Putting up a lot of good work. They had some tough games through phase 1. They really had to battle to make it here, so some of their statistics are not blowing the numbers out of the water. But all that really matters is when you're performing in those tense situations, and of course Quiz absolutely was in that final round in the 1v1. Great job trading out, despite one of the team kills that did happen in the midst of that round for Chiefs. Now they equalize, and they send the third bomb site down to Kitchen and Dining for Scarz. A lot of teams will prefer this site over the top floor and sometimes the basement. But I will say, with both the zombie and castle on the board, those top floor positions feel a lot stronger. Jigsaw is in quite deep, quite early. Less than 30 seconds of the round, they have full library control, mezzanine, and they're looking towards like piano and dining. This is good time from Chiefs.
Decent pace now to take lobby and stare down the bomb site. Tayu has an ACOG and can maybe return some fire there if Chiefs get a little bit too brazen. They're slowly encircling this bomb site. Tex up top, as he'll need to open up office and the area over top of the site before you can really pull off and execute. Selmas will go to work. Cairo with the very first kill onto Wishoy. Wishoy, a tremendously skilled player for Scarz. 2 rounds in a row with very minimal impact for Wishoy.
Yeah, you see this a lot, actually, a couple times in Australia where they do this Maverick thing where they'll try to open the wall, bait out a bandit trick because they use the EMP and the Selmas. That prompted Washaway to go for a trick, but then the Mav is right there and the kill immediately from Cairo. There was a very famous clip, actually, a couple of months ago from Australia where that happened. So, obviously, a little game plan that they like to pull out every now and again. Still some pressure up on the top floor, though. You see Fish like in Master Bedroom, Rec right around the corner as well inside Piano. So, lots of work still to do. The wall not quite open despite those angles. Obviously, objective number 1 is usually take the top floor, then work vert, but they've got a couple players in the basement instead. Looks like they're just shortcutting this. This could be a big play. Coming in now, Quiz.
Engaging with the Frost. Oda taking care of Nina, who's yet to draw blood. Quiz now with one as well. Chiefs doing their best to try and keep this as a flawless round. Fish like the only one still standing for Scarz. So if the job for Chiefs is to win it without losing a body, they're doing a bang-up job at this moment. Unlikely that Tayu's going to be retrieved. Fish like seeing one in Solarium, missing most of those shots, swinging on over, and he gets the down but not the kill. It cannot be secured. And after round 1, broken Scar's favor flawlessly, Chiefs will return the favor in round number 3.
Cairo doing some great work, sneaking up West Main alongside Quiz, rocking that Boss G on the Dokkaebi, a gun that we see a lot, but mostly from Vigil players. It's not typically considered to be as strong of a gun on the attack because it's a really good gun for holding angles, right? It'll one-shot to the body from almost any range. It's really good if you have to hold, but if you're swinging, it can often be a clunky gun to use. Only 2 bullets in the chamber, so difficult to use sometimes on the Dokkaebi, but Cairo gets it done perfectly. Good attack timeout now immediately being called by Scarz. 2-1 down. Of course, this is the decider map. It's a BO1, so it's nobody's map pick. Both teams need to win this. Let's see what the team wants to talk about. So far through this game, it felt like Chiefs have had very strong ideas of what they've wanted to do, right? You think about round number 2, they full cleared top. They execute downwards onto the site. They get a lot of kills going through the top floor. Then round number 3, pretty clear game plan. They pressure the office wall. They get that opening pick, but the real brunt of the push is coming up through West Main. It's a real surprise factor with that. So maybe if Scarz can just get a better read on what the push is looking like early, that could help them out. But throughout the rest of this game, I mean, it's just going to come down to stopping some of those entries, utilizing the Kiba barriers, using the castle barricades if you can. Try to keep yourself secure. Let's say that. No castle being brought here in round number 4, but they do still have the zombie. They've still got the mirror windows. They go to the top floor, which is the bomb switch they won in round number 1.
Round that Scarz was successful on, and remember they did that one flawlessly. I noted that just moments ago, but just in case people didn't tie it back to this particular bomb site. Really ineffective play by Chiefs. Start off with Jigsaw on that Amaru, slingshotting in, getting picked right away by Wishoy. That was the very first kill of the series, and then Chiefs struggling to get in the building beyond that. Lineups on big window, lineups over towards Solarium did not work out. Last player was actually on those Solarium double windows. Top Chalet can actually be quite tough to get into, depending on the way that the defenders situate themselves. One of the easiest ways in for most teams is through Library. That's why you see a great deal of teams start in that direction. At least one player or so will go over there to ensure that map control can be held by the attackers. But you see that Scarz has lined up at least 2 players in that part of the map. Nina is one of them. Nina still yet to get a kill, as we had noted.
Interesting. We got our first shield of the game coming in round number 4. Shields have dominated the current meta this year, and Tex starts to make his entry now. There's a player behind the bar. It's a Legion, and that will be information given. The Legion's a tough spot. Washoy, what are you going to do? Monty pushing you over at this point, and that's a dead Washoy. So difficult to play against a Monty. If they get right up in your face like that, you are just dead. No help to be coming out from the teammates either. We see Fish like over by Dining, but just couldn't make the trip fast enough. So Tex walks in, finds a free pick onto the roam clear.
Now Wishoy again, an early death for Scarz. Constantly putting them in a bad spot. And now Tex has maneuvered up towards Library, that very important part of the map. Nina is just waiting to die at this point. Cairo jumps in. It's a bit of a confusing one for Scarz. Scarz had called their timeout in the previous round. Well, it's not really paying off just yet. Hold on a second here. Both Rek and Taiyu, 2 kills. Tex and Jigsaw down for the count. Numbers for both teams very, very close. Scarz losing Rek on Library Stairs now. Cairo and Oda close enough by, but Fishlike emerges from over towards Dining with a pick and then runs away over towards Solarium.
That's really good.
That's your analysis. That's it.
That's really good. Now they're fighting again.
They got a kill. That was great. You know, it's great. 5 kills. It's all up to Oda, Jesse. That's bad.
Bad for Chiefs, but only a 1v2. I mean, this is still very winnable. He's got a defuse kit in a very safe plant spot now as well, trying to play the half wall.
Attempting to draw them out. The Bees giving away Taiyu's position. I fear that Oda had just looked in the wrong direction, expecting one to swing. He's going to open himself up to a push over towards Bathroom, and there it is. Good coordination by Scarz to narrow down Oda's final position. Knowing that one was playing over towards Bathroom and then the other over towards the bedroom doorway, you might be able to get one, but it's unlikely that you can flick about 180 degrees to pick up that second kill.
I was going to say that was really good from Chiefs being able to re-aggress after they lost the opening couple of picks, right? I didn't like the way that we saw Nina and Washoe go down right at the start of that round. It felt like, oh no, it's another round that Chiefs are just going to roll over Scarz. But you saw there was that answer. There was that movement immediately from Scarz when they were in the 3v5. They said, guys, we got to make some swings. Fishlike went out aggressively. Rek went out aggressively. They didn't all live. Rek got punished. He did get traded, but it didn't matter because the damage was being done. Excellent moves, particularly by Fishlike in that round, who really did step up and help the team to claw back the man advantage, and now the round advantage as well to tie us in a 2-2 game. Fishlike, this is his 6th event. He spent his entire Tier 1 career on Scarz after being picked up back in early 2022. This Scarz team kind of came out of nowhere way back in the day. As soon as they entered Tier 1, they didn't really pick up any of the traditional Japanese players that had been known in the international scene. They had been playing in the Japan National League for quite a while, and then immediately just seemed to dominate the competitive Blast League that when they first came onto the scene and have been doing expertly ever since then. A staple, and pretty much always at the top of Japan ever since their entrance.
I mean, it would be fascinating to talk to these Japanese teams as to what setbacks the region has occurred after how dominant Nonarengo was. Nonarengo was a consistent top 8 team and finished in the top 4 on a number of occasions. You know, I am a little surprised that the region has never really lived up to that same billing. I mean, geographically isolated regions are always going to struggle. I mean, look at Australia in basically every single video game. They have great difficulties with paying and with finding good quality scrim partners because of how far removed they are, but Japan really shouldn't have those same issues.
It's an interesting shield coming out. Easily dealt with by Jigsaw, so no problems with it, but I think it would have gotten value had it stayed up. Just a really tough one to keep alive, which is why we maybe don't see it so often. Also very interesting, they've conceded Library. They reinforced the hatch. They're not holding it. It's very odd these days. Usually they'll have that hatch open and a player inside of the Library corner. But this time around, that's not going to be the game plan coming out from Scarz. Instead, they're holding more towards Master inside of Mezzanine. Obviously, Nina in a really good spot to make some aggressive play, but he doesn't know where these other players are at, and they will know his info soon. Opening pick, and it will go through for Jigsaw.
0-4 for Nina. You touted Nina's credentials before we got into this matchup, but still there's a lot of potential that needs to be met. Quickly trading back onto Tex is good. Tex himself has been nowhere near as effective as I think he wants. Good news for Scarz fans, though. Rex still upright. Never mind. Decides to dry peek a window. With very limited information, Quiz punishes him for that. Scarz now down in terms of numbers. A relatively slow matchup so far. No real excitement, no theatrics between these teams. They're just firing away. Taiyu's last man standing. Chiefs looking in fine form to clear out the round. Do a lot of damage with that suppressed MP5, but there's a lot of angles that Taiyu's going to have to watch. He knows the march from Chiefs is coming from main lobby. Taiyu has to be mindful of games. He has to be mindful of the hallway. Has to worry about library. Unless there's a cam up or even a yokai, he's going to be acting with very limited intel. You can see the red marks on your screen, so there's some information here, and Quiz kills him with what seemed like a single bullet through the wall. Let's watch. That's a couple. Quiz having a very good start to this matchup, but it has been, I don't want to say it's a boring game so far, but this has been very steady as she goes.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've had some big moments, right? A lot of these Scarz players are wanting to fight out on the roam, and so that's meaning that a lot of the game is being decided more so in the early and mid-round rather than big 5-man late-round executes. I will say Jigsaw expertly through that previous round, walking in the front door, playing around Fireplace. They perma-banned his Lion, right? They target-banned his main operator at the start of this map. They said Jigsaw unlocked, and that felt like the first round where we actually got to see it. A triple kill on the round pushes them from 1 to 4 kills total in this, playing on the Finka, a rarer operator that we see every now and again these days, but Jigsaw certainly making it work. Old school player Jigsaw, used to be on that old Fnatic roster, if I am correct. Grew up on the island of Tasmania, now been playing Siege since all the way back in 2017.
The Devil?
That's the one. That's the one.
The Tasmanian Devil. Also, where Bloodstones come from.
Oh.
Tasmania.
Didn't know that.
Now you know.
I like that we get some education on this cast.
It's not just informative and entertainment. It's edutainment.
Wow.
It's educational entertainment.
One thing that the chatters will need to know is that Blitz is in the game and he's a very powerful. Pyro will move off the Boss G over to this operator, the second shield that we're seeing in the game. This time, it's the other shield that we tend to see, the German one.
Really is quite bizarre how little shields have been played, given that all 4, technically 5 if you want to add Osa, are available. Osa, Fuse Shield, Blitz, and Monty, obviously the main 2 clash on defense. And yet we've yet to see a clash. We've only seen the Monty, now we're seeing the Blitz. I'm used to seeing them almost every single round that they are available.
Yep. Oh, and look at this, too. They've got perfect information once again.
Oh, my. Quiz gets the pick onto Nina, immediately traded back by Rek. They wanted Rek as he played inside of Bar, but all they'll get is the Mozzie. Nina will not get a kill in the first half, Jesse.
No, you won't get it this time. 150 now. These couple of roamers, I mean, they're still trying to retreat back to the site. I believe they will be able to make it. No, Rek's actually going upstairs. He went over to Solar, so might be into an engagement pretty soon as these players start to enter in through Office. That's Tex that we just watched on the Office balcony. Rek in the 4v4. Does he need to go for something like this? I mean, I guess if he's not being droned out, there he goes. He'll retreat now. He knows he doesn't want any of the smoke. A couple of shots through the soft wall. 9 HP. He's just wasting time now. He really doesn't want to die, though.
Chiefs have been quite spectacular with these bullet pens. It will not change now as Rek is hunted down by the Blitz, leaving a trail of spiky breadcrumbs in his wake. He'll link up with Fishlike now, who's Vector can do some serious damage to the legs of the Blitz of Cairo. Rek still hiding out. Flash will go in. It blinds at least one, and now the Blitz in hot pursuit looks the wrong way. Fishlike gets Cairo, but also trades out the 9 HP of Rek. Some wins, some losses now. The Scarz look to hold on. They get another pick onto Jigsaw with Shoy's second kill so far, and a ring around the rosy from Fishlike as Oda drops. Tex with 1 kill to his name will need to dramatically increase that total. As now his first point of contact will be Fishlike. Flash goes down. Tex looking for the drop, but he doesn't know that Fishlike is still held on to this position. A puzzling first half. Jesse, 3-3 the scoreline.
I don't know. How many times did Chief even see the bomb site? It felt like the entirety of that half, it was Scarz wanting to fight out on the roam, and that last game was a perfect example of it. Rek and Fishlike refusing to drop the hatch and play on site. They said, no, we're dying inside of dining, and they didn't even need to. They got all the kills through that round, so they've looked very, very good. Chiefs, they need to be better about punishing that. You know, we saw Rek rotating all the way down Solar Stairs. They had a player up top in Solar that could have punished that play. Didn't end up happening. Fishlike, obviously the majority of those kills down inside of dining, played it expertly as he managed to get all those kills down there on the roam. Also think Rek did a fantastic job. Rek's been taking a ton of their opening engagements. He's had 39% of their opening picks on the defense. That's more than any other player at this event. He loves to get active on the defensive half of things. A huge roaming player for them. Always plays quite aggressively. Before the repicks came in, we had 3 shields picked by Scarz of Monty, Blitz, and Fuse. They've dropped one of those. It looks like they're still locking in the Monty and the Blitz Parker. This looks more like the meta that I've been seeing for the last couple of months.
Dokkaebi, Blitz, and Monty. Oppressive operators, nuisance operators. Be very challenging for Chiefs to deal with. They have some tools at their disposal. Number one, the Legion. Excellent counter to shield operators. You've also got a Frost. As we discussed, getting into the building on Chalet can be a little bit challenging for teams. Frost means that you either have to take an engagement with the player or the Frost mat. Frost mats are no longer guaranteed kills the way that they used to be. Oh my. Blitz in. Jigsaw rebuffing Fish. Like, how does that happen? You thought they had something going. Nitro Cell goes out. Nina and Wishoy with 2 kills. Oda, Jigsaw answer back. Wreck another as well. What has happened? 45 seconds into the round and 4 players remain. We said that the first half was business as usual. Far from the case now in this round.
Yeah, I mean, immediately, that's probably all you can realistically hope to get. Shields rush into your site. You grab 3 kills apiece. Not too bad. They still got to deal with this Monty, of course. These last couple of players, they've really been forced out. Over towards Library, Oda finds Nina, though, who's pushing very far forward without his teammate. That leaves Rek now on the other side of the map. In sight, admittedly, and Diffuse Kid is right there in the window as well. Could go for a plant here, Parker.
Simply possible. Lots of time. You can grab some intel as well. Leave 1 drone just to monitor, and why not? Case pulled out. The Chiefs have any information on this? I don't think they know this is going on, and now the scramble will come in from both Quiz and Oda. Rek has been sensational so far for Scarz. He hears them both pushing in the same direction. Rek gets both! A perfect lineup for Chiefs. Well, perfect if you're Scarz. Very well played by Rek, and just a small misstep from the Chiefs. With limited information, no knowledge of where the diffuser was being planted, and no knowledge on how to retake effectively.
Excellent job by Rek in the 1v2, identifying that he had all of the positioning that he needed to win that round. Chiefs, I'm not sure why they didn't take more onus into grabbing the bomb site back. They were in a 2v1. They knew they didn't have Diffuse Kit, but they made the decision just to sit and wait. Maybe they didn't think that Diffuse Kit was in the hands of Rek, regardless of the situation. They ended up pushing extremely vertically. They could have pushed one guy up solar instead. They chose not to do that. They were facing into Kiba barriers at that point. The positioning was so much better for Rek. And of course, he had to hit those great shots, and he did just that. So expertly done by Rek in the 1v2 clutch. Chiefs, they're giving up their bomb site a little bit too easily in that one. It's difficult, I get it, when you got a Monty Blitz running at you. And I certainly do think that in that situation, I mean, they did a good job of shutting that down. Immediately, they cleared out the Blitz. The Monty was very isolated, walked into a crossfire, so they got that pick. It felt like in the 1v2, they had everything they needed, but not quite the positioning. So, Scarz take another lead in this game, up 4-3 now. They win their first attack. We often say Chalet is one of the most attacker-sided maps in the game, probably just second to Border. So this could be a worrying half for Chiefs if they can't get things straight.
Both of these teams have shown some deficiencies as well as this match has gone on. Things like not taking proper engagements. A great example of that was the Scarz entry on the Blitz previously. Why do you run in and get picked off immediately? That's not typically how things go. How do you get out-dueled in that regard? Giving up first picks relatively easily has also been a struggle for both teams. Oda on the Warden, playing first line of defense, picked off by Rek, finds kill number 12. Quite a great number for 8 rounds in at this point. Jigsaw is the next target, now playing Chimney. Harassed by drone, swinging on over, and it's too much for him to handle. Rek bulldozing that defender. Now Quiz, tagged up. Over by Piano. Takes out Nina on a shot that, did Quiz even know where Nina was? It didn't seem like that was the intention. Adrenal Surge will keep these players on Scarz closer to full HP, as now the Monty of Fishlike breathes down the back of Quiz's neck. Over towards door, Tayu takes out Quiz. And he's looking for another player over towards lobby. The read is correct as Tex ascends those stairs. Tex needs to be worried about multiple angles, another from Tayu. Cairo in a 1v4, of which one is a Monty, with Shoy finishing the deal. Not a terrific round for Chiefs by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm curious if we'll see attack time out here. It feels like Chiefs are really starting to get lost in this game. We're seeing a lot of isolated fights. In 2024, you just can't play Siege solo on the defense. You're going to get pushed by Grim. You're going to get pushed by Shields. And here we do see the tactical timeout coming out from Chiefs. So I'm glad we get to see this. I think this is absolutely needed. They've got to be playing more together in these rounds. Coach Nate of Chiefs is now going to be talking to the boys and trying to make sure that they can tighten up a little bit on these holds. Scarz are playing the meta right now. They're playing all the best operators that we see being utilized around the world. We're seeing Monty, we're seeing Blitz, we're seeing Grim. These operators make it so difficult to play solo, it just makes it impossible. And I understand, Chalet, you want to be holding a lot of map control. This map's got a lot of important rooms that you want to be holding, but you've got to choose your battles. You've got to make sure that you're playing together in some of these. And so for Chiefs, if they can't figure that out, this is going to be a really tough game for them. At the same time, they got to find a way to shut down Rec. My God, 13-5 through this game so far. It's been a minute since Rec has put up numbers like these. We talked a little bit about Nina. Not a lot this game, because I think he's putting up 1 kill.
Nina's been really ineffective so far.
In Stage 2, he was the best player in the world, statistically. He had the best KD ratio out of anybody. He was plus 58, just joining at the start of the year, their newest player. Obviously, that is not translating so far to international play.
Yeah, I mean, -6 is not ideal, but you've got Fishlake with 7 kills. You got Rec with 13. Chiefs, it's really all just up to Quiz. I mean, Quiz has been taking point on most of these engagements. He's the player that you're going to assume is going to be getting a lot of these picks. Oda's been getting very high-value picks in his role, but it's also worth noting that a number of those have been exit kills in lost rounds, which make your stats look good, but ultimately don't really change the overall score or have a tremendous impact on the matchup. But then Oda also had, 2 rounds, I think, that were won by his theatrics. So, again, some high-value picks, others kills exiting the round. Not all KDs look the same.
Nope, that's very true, Parker. Some are good, some are bad. But some look good, but they're actually bad. Some look bad, but they're actually good.
The thing that I reference quite often is, let's say your team loses 3 rounds in a row to start the game.
Yep.
You are an anchor player who's left in a 1v5 on 3 separate occasions, and you get 3 kills in each of those rounds. You end the 3rd round with 9 kills.
Wow.
But you lose all the rounds. Your team is in a 1v5 all the time. You get 3 largely meaningless kills, and you lose the round. Yeah, your KD is going to look great, but are they having high value? Are you getting a lot of impact from them? The answer is no.
That's when you tell your team, I got mine.
That's what Twitter's for. To let your teammates know that you got yours. Oda with the very first kill. Jigsaw with 1. Quiz another. Scarz barreling into the bomb site and being swiftly dealt with by the Australians. Nina and Fishlake very low on HP. Adrenal Surge comes out. Nina just technically not credited with that kill. It was already a down, so it's all up to Fishlake. Double digits possible at this point. 3 players for Chiefs, still upright. As Fishlake will drop in the midst of the bomb site, tags up the Legion. Cairo dropped. Scarz already pulled this off once with Rec. There's no way they're able to do it again. Fishlake waiting for the peek from the Kaid, and he gets hit by the TCSG, and that's all she wrote for that round for Scarz. That could have been nearly a knockout punch for the Japanese team, but Chiefs hang on.
The first defensive win from Chiefs, and what do you notice? They're playing together. They're not out there on the roam all by themselves. Instead, they isolate themselves up just above the bomb site. We're playing piano. We're playing office. We're playing master. We're playing close so that we can trade each other when those opening kills come in, when the Monty pushes up, when the Zofia comes in, when the Grim comes forward. You have the tools to swing out and help your teammates. That was perfect from Chiefs. Got to give a lot of credit to the coach of Nafe there. You can see the clear adjustment coming out from Chiefs, identifying that problem and fixing it. Now, that could be a little bit worrying for Scarz, because despite the fact those 2 rounds look very, very good, we're seeing the answer back from Chiefs. We go over to the top floor bomb site now of Master Bedroom. This is another site where you can play relatively together. You don't have to be roaming in the basement. You don't have to hold on to dining. You can really just play Master, Solar, maybe extend over towards Mezzanine, the library stairs, right? You can play in relative proximity to your teammates. So this style of play, assuming Chiefs keep it up, can be continued on this bomb site. Scarz will need to figure this out. Monty gets played across all metas, well, across all bomb sites in today's meta. So you expect there to be counters to this style of play. You expect that with good team play, that could be an answer. Quiz thinking also maybe some aggression could help out, but doesn't find anything for his initial fight of the round.
Quiz has been having a great game so far. Standing up to these the moment, I would argue, superior fraggers on Scarz.
Yeah.
That's with Nina still asleep. Nina's not even being deployed in a way that would lead you to think that those numbers are, okay, you're an anchor, okay, you're a support. Nina is still consistently among the first points of contact for Scarz. Nina's just losing those fights. We saw this a lot on defense. Nina was usually one of the first to die. It was either Nina or Washoy as the first casualty for Scarz in almost every single round. That cannot be happening. Nina pounces on Quiz, though, and that's a heck of a high-impact kill, but it's traded back immediately by Oda. Got rid of Quiz. Rek getting to the top of stairs, and boy, oh boy, a Frost Mat. Will be the undoing of Rek for the time being. That's a long time to get that Frost Mat debuff, meaning that Rek will be slow, make a lot of noise, bleed out. It's valuable information for Chiefs.
Again, we're seeing Chiefs playing together. That's exactly what they had to do. Lost the opening pick. Okay, traded back. They retreat out of mezzanine. They don't want to hold this any longer. They do go down to play the main floor and rotate back up to site. So now it's 4 players inside piano, inside office, ready to repel this push in. With Rek being slowed and on just a little bit of HP, he is susceptible to both the impacts of Jigsaw and the Nitro Cell of Tex. He's going to be the one with the defuse kit. If they don't trade that kit, if they don't give the defuse kit to somebody else, he's going to be very vulnerable to these throwable explosives. They're taking their time now. The wall is open. It's a plant-focused strategy on the side of Scarz, so it's all going to be on Chiefs to stop the kit from going down.
They'll cut off a push from those defenders through piano double door. And now, despite the limited HP for Rek, as long as he keeps that shield fully extended, it'll be challenging for Chiefs to do some damage his way. There will be goo mines still scattered throughout this bomb site, so that will be cause for concern for Scarz.
Tried to flank there on Oda. Didn't quite get it, though.
I mean, he is still flanking.
They saw him, though. They know where he is.
Now you just need to isolate him. Down goes Rek, so the remainder of the Monty found by Tex. Tex having some struggles with getting those kills, but he finds yet another onto Tayu, and Scarz are about to lose their lead. Washoy taking a place where the Monty had been for so long. Tayu died there as well. And it's Oda from long range. Hidden behind the bomb chassis. 2 shots, 3 shots, all it takes. 5-5, and we will go all the way on our very first map here on the B stream.
Because Scarz used their attack timeout after round 3, they don't have the ability to pause this game, slow it down, and adjust like Chiefs did. Another round, they play together on the roam, they go 1 for 1, they retreat, they play together on the site. Sure, they go for a little flank, but when it gets spotted out, they don't commit to it. They don't say, we live or die off of this frost flank. They say, okay, the flank got caught out, that's fine. Come back to site. There's still 45 seconds on the clock. Meanwhile, Tex is getting 2 kills in sight. The other site players are doing very, very well to get those long angle kills. So just perfect stuff coming out from Chiefs. They know exactly what they want to do up against this lineup. Scarz, without the help of attack timeout, will need to re-strategize, come up with a new game plan, because these last couple of rounds, it has clearly not been working. The early man advantage has become much harder to attain in rounds 9 and 10. Go to the basement bomb site for the first time. Basement's usually like relatively popular on Chalet. Chalet's a 4-site map. You expect to see all the bomb sites getting played. I think the big reason why we've seen less basement than usual is that both Castle and particularly Azami have been left on the board. When those operators are up, the top floor becomes a lot safer. The angles that the attackers get become a lot more limited. So we see more play around kitchen. We'll see more master bedroom bomb sites being brought out as well. Means it can be a little bit disincentivized to go to the basement. But nothing wrong with this site still. Good operators being brought to hold it down. Of course, the 2 Brow to keep the wall closed. The Kaid as well. Goyo will start to stall this at the same time. Meanwhile, Scarz try to answer back with some roam clear operators and the Deimos and the Dokkaebi. And the Thermites to open the wall. No dodo canisters. Okay.
Keeping them for next round.
Well, not quite how that works.
You just save them up.
Could you imagine?
Save it up for the next match, yeah. What if we bring in Thermite and don't use the extra Thermite charges? Do we get 4 next round? That'd be grand, wouldn't it? Devs, if you're listening, do not do that. I beg you.
I think it could be fun for like
not get any ideas.
Like an arcade game mode. I think that could actually be really fun.
Somebody suggested way back how cool it would be if you only play operators for a certain number of rounds. So say, for example, if you played a Thermite this round, you couldn't play Thermite next round.
Well, that's been an arcade, I believe. We've had that a couple times.
Yes, I know, but I meant like from a pro standpoint.
Oh.
I think it could be fun.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I think it would potentially lower the quality of gameplay because some operators, especially on attack, are really not well suited to be played on every single bomb site. All that said, though, halfway point of the round. Logic bombs going out. As you can see from the defender side of things, no mute jammers to stop this. Oh my, Quiz! Eliminating Fishlike and Washoy from the same position. Tex with another kill, starting to heat up. Struggles on attack. They've disappeared now on defense. It's all up to Tayu and Rek. Not a wealth of time either for Scarz. Just a little bit around a minute for them to pull this off. A back attack for Tayu, who fearlessly walks into the bomb site. I suppose when you're down in numbers, that's really all you can do. Rek will link up. And keep in mind, this wall is closed. There's still one exothermic charge in pocket, and this is when those auto canisters will find some value. Swinging on the door before moving over towards Wine Wall. Tayu will open that up unless the other auto canister goes over there. No. Chiefs are letting them have this angle, Jesse. Nice shot by Tex. And it's all up to Tayu. They win this, they go to match point. Chiefs just need to deal with the thermite now by the door. He steps into goo mine, looks over towards blue. Oh my, 2 quick kills, but he runs out of time. The dot from the goo mine manages to take him out. Jigsaw credited with that kill, and it's Chiefs on match point.
They may live in the land of upside down, but that doesn't stop them from shooting straight today. Chiefs hitting some nasty shots in that last round. Quiz. I was saying I didn't want to see Chiefs play solo. If you're hitting shots like that, you can play however you want, okay? I don't mind. Up there in Solar, 2 beauty shots out on the roam, and then Tex finding one aggressive as well, falling back to site, finding his second. Just some beautiful shots coming out from Chiefs that round. Felt like Scarz were doing everything right. They were together on the roam clear. They found an isolated player, but end of the day, this is an FPS game. You hit your shots. Doesn't really matter what the strategy is going to be. Chiefs now doing very well in this game. Quiz has bumped his kill total up to 12, just 2 away from Rek to be the top frag of the game, but I don't think he cares too much. The stat line that matters is 6 and 5 at the very top of the screen. I will once again remind everyone, this is a best of 1. If you win this game, you're going 1-0 in Swiss. You move on to play a strong team later today. Both these teams, regardless, will be playing another BO1 later this evening. But Chiefs, of course, if you start 1-0, that gives you a real advantage. You've got 3 lives in Swiss. Be starting down 0-1 is not ideal. Really fun electric claw right there. We saw it from Oda. Put it inside the wall. That's one that's been, we've seen a couple of times this stage. It's very hard to find that claw.
Spectators are going to try to give us a good view of it, but you can't really see it all that well. Basically what you do is, between where the reinforcement is and the actual wall, plaster, drywall, whatever you want to call it, you can shoot a little bit of it, lean into it, and from far enough back, you can throw the electric claw between it. Now, if you've got an EMP or you've got an IQ, obviously that's going to bolster your chances of taking care of it. But as you can see from the side of Scarz, the only real option they're going to have is that Twitch drone, and that's going to require some investigative work, which you're really not going to have the time to do because the Twitch drone is likely going to get shot beforehand. So getting open this wall for Scarz might prove to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be really tricky with the tools that Scarz have. Twitch and Brava can both deal with Kaid, but they're both drones. You've got to find the wall first. They might not be too worried about it, though. A lot of pressure over by Solar, over by Trophy. They want to spot out this clash. First time we're seeing this operator this game. Covered in bees, but does it matter? Taking the fight anyways. Kyra bold on this one. Hasn't been punished just yet. He knows he won't be repelled in on because he's being held, and he gets the kill, too.
Not just a 1 kill. That's 3 for Chiefs. Rek the only one on the board so far. Rek will need to clutch ace this series, or Scarz goes down, and Chiefs, our very first victory of the Swiss stage, of the playoffs. Oh my, Kiro giving him the Rikishi stink face, and it doesn't matter. Rek dies shortly thereafter. Chiefs winning our first match here on the B stream, and the Aussies start off 1-0.